At that time there was no sign of a fall, only pride and radiant light. But in the silence I heard a quiet whisper, that even perfection is not an end, but only the beginning of a deeper trial. The story does not stop at describing a beautiful angel, but opens for us the lesson that precisely when we are most gifted, precisely when we shine the brightest, that is also the moment we are in danger of drifting farthest from the source of light. And that is the first lesson of Lucifer, not merely the tale of an ancient angel, but a mirror for every soul. That eternal light never belongs to us. It always begins from the one who created it. Whoever forgets this has already taken the first steps toward the abyss. Lucifer did not fall in a violent moment, but in a tiny fissure, a nearly imperceptible crack within the light of perfection. From within that brilliance arose a fleeting thought, as fragile as breath, yet powerful enough to shake heaven itself. That thought was not sin at once, but only a question hidden deep in the mind, whether this light must forever be directed toward the Creator, or whether it could shine by itself as an independent source. It was within the freedom granted by God that this seed found soil to sprout. I saw clearly in the vision that it did not come from outer darkness, but from the very beauty of Lucifer, from the very wisdom and power that had been bestowed. What had been given as a gift could so easily be distorted. Wisdom could turn into pride. Beauty could become fuel for vanity. Power could shift into hunger for dominion. And when those gifts no longer looked toward the giver, they began to fracture. At first, Lucifer still held his role as leader, still sang with the choir, still received the admiration of angels, yet in his eyes there was a fleeting shadow of distance. Another angel noticed and asked if he no longer rejoiced as before, but Lucifer only smiled quietly and spoke in puzzling words, as though the light within had changed into a restless flame. That flame was not outright malice. It was curiosity, the urge to reach another height, and it was precisely that curiosity which led him to look not to the Creator, but to himself. I understood then that when a soul begins to compare itself with the very source of light, the crack has already opened. It was a flawed logic, yet enticing, for within him arose the sense that his radiance was enough to stand alone, enough to no longer be reflection. And once that thought appeared, it did not vanish. It repeated. It quietly took root. Beauty became a burden. Wisdom became a temptation. Glory became a doubt. Heaven still overflowed with order, but within the spirit of Lucifer, a small deviation was growing. I heard in the sacred realm that freedom is the highest gift, but it is also the most fragile place. That very freedom allows love to exist, but that very freedom also opens the way for arrogance. Lucifer began to frame his questions not around praising the Creator,